Hello dolls and welcome back to another video. Today we're focusing on the year 1977, the year that brought the opening of the legendary Studio 54, loads of great music and groundbreaking films. I'm currently on a journey from the year 1960 all the way to the year 1979 and we're already at 1977. We are so close to the end, but this was such an incredible year and I cannot wait to share this with you. If you haven't watched all the videos leading up to this, make sure to go back and start at the beginning to see how the 60s and 70s unfolded, because these were two such important decades for so much music, fashion and film. Everything flourished during these two decades and I would love for you to learn all about it. Make sure to subscribe to not miss out on 78 and 79, but now without further ado, let me take you back to the year 1977. Welcome to the year 1977, a year of innovation, rebellion, and cultural milestones. The late 70s saw the world caught between the lingering ideals of the counterculture movement and the emerging tides of individualism and materialism that would define the coming decade. It was a time when music, fashion, and film exploded with creative energy, reflecting the tensions and transformations of an era in flux. In the United States, political scandals and economic struggles weighed heavily on the national consciousness. Meanwhile, in the UK, punk rock's raw energy was shaking the establishment, heralding a new era of defiance. Globally, technological advancements hinted at the shape of the future, while cultural trends reflected a blend of nostalgia and forward-thinking experimentation. Culturally, 1977 was a year of dualities, looking back at a sense of nostalgia while simultaneously breaking barriers in music, fashion, and film. It was the year of Star Wars, the Sex Pistols, and Studio 54, where diverse moments collided to create an unforgettable moment in cultural history. Politically, 1977 was marked by shifting political dynamics. In the United States, President Jimmy Carter's first year in office brought a focus on human rights and environmental issues. The energy crisis still loomed large, with rising oil prices prompting debates about conservation and alternative energies. The ongoing Cold War continued to shape international relations as Carter's administration worked to negotiate arms control agreements with the Soviet Union. In the UK, political unrest and economic hardship fueled discontent, creating fertile ground for punk rock's rise as a cultural force. The Silver Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II, marking 25 years on the throne, provided a moment of national celebration, though it was not without controversy. Punk rock icons like the Sex Pistols used the occasion to critique the monarchy with their infamous single "God Save the Queen," a bold act of rebellion that ignited a widespread debate. Economically, the late 1970s were challenging for many. Inflation and unemployment rates were high, and the effects of the 1973 oil crisis still lingered. I am drawing out the price development in the United States by comparing the same three products in every single video: the price of a new house, a loaf of bread, and a movie ticket, as well as telling you about the annual household income to put everything into perspective. Going to see one of 1977's greatest films, like for example Star Wars, would cost you about $2.34. A loaf of bread was just 32 cents, and a new house would set you back $49,300, while the annual household income on average was about $15,000. These economic struggles influenced cultural trends, with both escapism and rebellion defying the year's artistic expressions. Perhaps the biggest fashion moment of 1977 was the opening night of the legendary Studio 54. On April 26, 1977, Studio 54 opened its doors and instantly transformed into the global epicenter of the disco craze, becoming not just a nightclub but a cultural phenomenon. This legendary venue, located in Midtown Manhattan, symbolized the excess, glamour, and uninhibited creativity of the late 1970s. It wasn't just a nightclub, it was a runway, a stage, and a canvas for self-expression, where fashion, music, and celebrity collided in dazzling harmony. Studio 54 was the brainchild of Steve Rebell and Ian Schrager, college roommates from Syracuse University. Before they became synonymous with the glitz and glamour of Studio 54, they were running a modest operation called the Enchanted Garden in Queens. Their transition from humble beginnings to Manhattan nightlife royalty was nothing short of meteoric, with Studio 54's exclusivity and allure setting it apart from every other club in the city. However, much of the credit for Studio 54's rise to prominence belongs to Carmen DeLassio, a public relations powerhouse in the fashion world. Her unparalleled connections brought in an elite crowd that included Bianca Jagger, Liza Minnelli, Andy Warhol, and Truman Capote. D'Alessio's knack for creating buzz turned Studio 54's grand opening into a major media event, and her ability to craft unforgettable moments, like Bianca Jagger's iconic entrance atop a white horse, cemented the club's place in the cultural zeitgeist. Studio 54 wasn't just a nightclub, it was a fashion incubator. The club's hedonistic ethos encouraged patrons to push boundaries, mix styles, and embrace the bold and outrageous. Fashion at Studio 54 was as diverse and unpredictable as its guest list. From haute couture to DIY creations, anything went as long as it made a statement. The disco era was defined by glitz, and nowhere was this more apparent than in Studio 54. Sequins, metallic fabrics, and plunging necklines dominated the dance floor. Jumpsuits and dresses in shimmering golds and silvers reflected the club's iconic mirror disco balls, turning partygoers into living, breathing spectacles. Disco shorts and lyrics were seen everywhere as partygoers teased their hair and wore shimmering makeup. Designers like Halston became synonymous with Studio 54's aesthetic, crafting minimalist yet luxurious designs that embodied effortless glamour. Bianca Jagger, a regular at the club, epitomized this style with her chic white Halston suits and flowing gowns. Studio 54's inclusive environment celebrated androgyny and gender fluidity long before it was mainstream. Men in makeup and sequin blazers danced alongside women in tuxedos and feathered boas. Grace Jones, a frequent performer and style icon of the late 1970s, exemplified this boundary-pushing ethos with her sculptural outfits and fearless persona. The club became a haven for self-expression, where traditional notions of gender and beauty were joyfully dismantled. Not all fashion at Studio 54 came from the runways of Paris or New York. Many guests created their own looks, using everything from household items to avant-garde materials. The club's anything goes policy encouraged creativity, leading to outfits made of feathers, chains, and even light-up elements. Studio 54's emphasis on individuality meant that fashion wasn't just about following trends, but about setting them. The celebrity clientele at Studio 54 set the tone for fashion inside and outside the club. Diana Ross dazzled in glittering gowns, Cher stuns in a barely there Bob Mackie creation, and Andy Warhol's casual chic aesthetic brought an artful edge to the scene. These icons didn't just attend, they defined the club's ever-changing look. While Studio 54's fashion stole the spotlight, its music provided the heartbeat. The club's DJs kept the dance floor alive with a steady stream of disco hits, creating an atmosphere where the clothes came alive. Live performances by Grace Jones, Donna Summer, and Gloria Gaynor added an electrifying energy, while the flamboyant staff and theatrical party themes elevated the experience to performance art. Studio 54's golden era came to an end on February 4th in 1980, with a party aptly named the end of modern-day Gomorrah. By then, the club had left an indelible mark on the worlds of fashion and nightlife. Its influence extended far beyond its walls, shaping how people dressed, partied, and expressed themselves for decades to come. My outfit today is so highly inspired by Studio 54. I feel like this is what I would have worn if I was invited to the opening. With also this very bold hairstyle. I put my hair in curlers, slept in it. I'm wearing some dangling earrings, jewelry, this shimmery shirt, some disco shorts. You're gonna see in the clip right here. And then also a big belt, as I felt like this kind of embodied the anything goes spirit of Studio 54. On the other end of the spectrum, punk fashion emerged as a bold counterpoint to disco's opulence. Originating in London and spearheaded by designers like Vivienne Westwood, punk style featured ripped t-shirts, leather jackets, safety pins, and loads of tartan fabrics. The DIY aesthetic and anti-establishment ethos of punk resonated deeply with the disillusionized youth, creating a look that was as much a statement as a style. For women, power dressing began to gain traction, with tailored blazers, wide-legged pants, and bold colors reflecting a growing sense of confidence and ambition. Meanwhile, bohemian influences still persisted, with flowing maxi dresses, peasant blouses, and earthy tones remaining popular among those who embraced a more laid-back hippie look. Hairstyles in 1977 reflected the era's wide-ranging aesthetics. Feathered hair, as popularized by Farrah Fawcett, was a staple for many women, while afros and natural natural hairs continued to celebrate black beauty and culture. Punk's influence extended to hairstyles as well, with the mohawks, brightly dyed locks, and spiked styles making a statement. Makeup trends ranged from the dramatic glitter and shimmer of disco to the stark minimalist look favored by many punks, with heavy eyeliner and a pale complexion, creating a striking contrast. Music-wise, 1977 was a year of revolutionary sounds and groundbreaking artistry. Disco dominated the charts with hits like The Bee Gees' Staying Alive, defying the genre's infectious energy. Donna Summer's collaboration with Giorgio Moroder on I Feel Love was particularly notable for its innovative use of synthesizers, paving the way for electronic music's future. Punk rock exploded onto the scene, with bands like the Sex Pistols, The Clash, and the Ramones leading the charge. The Sex Pistols' debut album, Nevermind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols, became a cultural touchstone, encapsulating the raw energy and rebellious spirit of punk. Songs like Anarchy in the UK and God Save the Queen shocked the establishment and energized an entire generation. Rock music also evolved, with Fleetwood Mac's Rumours becoming one of the best-selling albums of all time. The album's deeply personal lyrics and polished sound captured the complexities of relationships and resonated with audiences worldwide. Meanwhile, David Bowie released Heroes, further cementing his status as a musical innovator. The year also saw the rise of reggae as a global force, with Bob Marley and the Wailers releasing Exodus. The album's tracks, including Jamming and One Love, blended political messages with infectious rhythms, bringing reggae's unique sound and spirit to a wider audience. Film in 1977 was marked by groundbreaking releases that defined the cinematic landscape. The most iconic film of the year was undoubtedly Star Wars Episode IV: A New Hope. Directed by George Lucas, the space opera captivated audiences with its revolutionary special effects, epic storytelling, and unforgettable characters. The film's success not only launched one of the most beloved franchises in film history, but also changed the way movies were marketed, with merchandise becoming a major part of the industry. Another significant release was Saturday Night Fever, which brought disco culture to the big screen. Starring John Travolta as a Brooklyn teenager seeking escape through dance, the film's soundtrack featuring the Bee Gees became a cultural phenomenon and solidified disco's place in popular culture. Meanwhile, Woody Allen's Annie Hall offered a more introspective take on relationships and modern life. The film's witty dialogue and innovative narrative structure earned it critical acclaim and several Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Horror also had a standout year, with films like Suspiria and The Hills Have Eyes, pushing the boundaries of the genre. Suspiria, directed by Dario Argento, combined vivid visuals with a haunting score to create a masterpiece of psychological horror, while The Hills Have Eyes delivered gritty, visceral terror that shocked audiences. It is safe to say that rock and roll royalty and Hollywood glamour continue to intersect, with the year's weddings and scandals keeping the tabloids quite busy. So, what does 1977 really add up to? 1977 was a year of undeniable contrasts. Disco's exuberance collided with punk's raw energy, while blockbusters ruled the screen and independent voices flourished. Studio 54 epitomized hedonistic glamour, while punk music and fashion signaled an impending shift. In both the US and UK, economic struggles and political disillusionment contrasted sharply with the escapism of art. Fashion took bold, theatrical turns, from the glitter of disco to the rebellion of punk, while music became a battleground of ideas, with Saturday Night Fever's polished rhythms clashing with the raw edge of The Clash and the Sex Pistols. 1977 wasn't just a year of transition, it was a statement. It showcased culture's power to reflect, resist, and reinvent. From Bianca Jagger's Studio 54 wardrobe to Vivienne Westwood's punk creations, it was clear the late 1970s weren't following any preordained path. Instead, they blazed new trails, messy, contradictory, but unforgettable. Looking back, 1977 reminds us of the beauty and chaos. It wasn't perfect, but it was pivotal, and in its imperfection, it has lasting charm. Tomorrow, we'll take a look at 1978, the year that saw punk taking reign, gunny sex dresses everywhere, Michael Jackson taking his first steps as a solo artist, and the disbandment of the Runaways. So that is it for today's video. That is it for 1977. For me, 1977 is just such an incredible year that shows how disco and punk, these two completely opposite genres, flourished at the same time. And I think that that is truly beautiful. The late 1970s were so diverse. There was disco, there was punk, but there was also rock, singer-songwriters. All sort of music was just there coexistent, and that is just so beautiful. There were also so many incredible movies. For me personally, I'm not about the horror films, but Star Wars, what a great one. My favorite movie of 1977 is definitely Annie Hall. I know Woody Allen is a controversial person, but I have to say, I think Annie Hall is a masterpiece. What an incredible movie. As always, I cannot let you go before trying a tea. This one has fennel and chamomile. I feel like it's just the same stuff over and over again. I feel like this exact one wasn't in there, but like fennel, chamomile, and then something else. It's fine. I'm a big tea drinker. I'll drink pretty much whatever. I don't mind it because I just like to drink hot beverages, especially in the winter. But I would not go out and buy a whole pack of this tea because it's just not exciting. Anyway, that is it for 1977. Let me know if you think I missed something. I am so truly excited to bring you the rest of the 1970s. I cannot believe we're almost through, and we're also approaching Christmas, which I'm so excited about. If you want to know more about my days leading up to Christmas and what I'm doing Vlogmas in like vlog form too. Every couple of videos I'm doing a vlog, so they're usually like 40 to 60 minutes long, just to kind of like combine everything that happens. But if you just want to know how I spent my Christmas time, go over there and check that out. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love you to give it a thumbs up, maybe even share it with a friend. It supports me, it supports the channel, and it would truly mean the world. I hope you have a beautiful day. Go out, enjoy the sunshine, and hopefully the snow. Here it is raining. We had one day of snow so far this December. Yeah, it's sad, but there's nothing I can do. Take yourself some time to focus on you and your mental health today, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, dolls.
When she comes in the dead of the night to my window, riding a frog that she keeps.